Hi, hello. Well, this is a video response to Mr. Propaganda Buster, uh, Anthony Morano. Sure, I have seen this video about this thing about the protesters in South Korea. So, what are these people, or 200 or about 60 or 200,000 protesters marching against President Park? Let me tell you this. The situation in that country, how it is about freedom of speech, is the same thing. You talk shit about Korean society over there, is like going to Great Britain and talking shit about the Queen. That's true. That's how it is. Like you talk shit about the Queen in over there in England and Britain, you're in deep trouble. You cannot talk shit about the Queen. It's like you cannot talk shit about Korean society in South Korea. Then, as for a matter of fact, if these people are protesting against Park, well, I could show you one thing. All these members may probably they're joining ISIS. I think this is absolutely necessary. It's absolutely necessary because at least you say you've been to Japan and shit. I never been to Japan, but you did. I see you going around and see your videos. Sure, if you have to worry about shit happening over there, stuff happening over there, then why not worry about these protesters? Some of them are fed up, and some of them are fed up with Park's political propaganda about talking shit about Japan, and they cannot talk shit about their own society, right? The reason is, not all of them are like normal average Joes. These people were Muslims. And then not just Muslims, they're ISIS members. Yeah, they're ISIS members. You have mosques in South Korea. I've seen videos about Islam in Korea. Sure they do. These guys are part of the Korean Reform Party. That's right, the Korean Reform Party. How would that be? It's gonna be when somebody held up in office after Park, or they want to resign Park. This is It's called republic. This country is a republic. You and me, we're living in a republic. That's why it's called the Republic of Korea. This is not like a parliamentary, like you going like Britain, saying that you cannot, protest against the Prime Minister until you have the Congress or the House of Lords died, what is called in Japan, or in Canada, House of Lords, and then you just vote off of the party, and let the person in charge, either the emperor or the Queen of England or whatever, to not vote off for your prime minister. This is what it is. Like example, you ask for an impeachment. These guys could impeach. I mean, these couple of crazy ass people over there, probably most of them ISIS members, would say to impeach her. Right? Nixon got impeached for what? For the Watergate scandal? Yes. I wasn't even born yet, but that happens. And it happened before. Bill Clinton was about to get impeached for getting his dick sucked, right? And getting his dick sucked by Monica Lewinsky, but he will stay there. Only Nixon had his surge of impeachment because of this Watergate scandal. Now, and you're talking about this scandals going on here, people protesting. They might just go and impeach her. Yes, it is. France got a president. Do they do they reaching out and putting along in danger on their own citizens because ISIS might got bombs? Yeah, if you've seen the movie Speed, Tony, if you've seen the movie Speed with Keanu Reeves, that bus that has a bomb in LA could be the TGV bullet train in France with a bomb. Same situation, different country. You know, if they should have Speed 2, but they should have Speed 3 go more accurate to take place in France as what they're going to see. Bomb on a train. And talking about bomb on a train and talking about ISIS, well, are we talking about the Korean Reform Party? The Korean Reform Party is actually ISIS. So it will take a while to have her, President Park, impeach. Then you have a leader, a Muslim would be president. Yes, a Muslim. Out of all these Muslim protesters trying to get ladders and all that stuff. And then after that he came down and says and siege all the US military, saying that they rape their own that the American soldiers rape these Korean women and all stuff, like they try to do the actual government try to hit on Japan, throw them fires of what they did out of Japanese of Chinese descent soldiers that did this kind of terrible stuff. Now they're going after American soldiers, and plus with that they'll says you just come up, they're gonna seize the weapons, they're gonna put them all to jail, and then after that, this is where we're going there. It's a slow process to see the Battle of Troy again, Tony, Mr. Propaganda Buster. The Battle of Troy. The Battle of Troy in this situation, that the Trojans kidnap a princess because of love interest, and then they make up a horse out of wood. Then they went to Troy. They fought in Troy out of that horse, and that horse, I could tell you, that wooden horse, Roman soldiers, Greek soldiers were there. They were fighting the Trojans, and then after, if you've seen Troy, the movie about the Battle of Troy, and then Arcadius won the Battle of Troy, and Troy become a Greek territory. That's what it is. These people are the Trojan horse. These people are part of ISIS. ISIS, because I think, better yet, I prefer that ISIS could win the election for South Korea. Somebody who is a member of ISIS that might unify Korea. That's the Trojan horse. That is the Trojan horse. So Japan plays the role of Greece, and is the same situation, but this time will be Muslims. All it is they took the American. Once this guy who were protesting kicked, they helped kick President Park out or impeach President Park, Japan gets ready to fight ISIS with the US. Then US soldier, they have an ISIS video. The Unification of Korea will be starting with US soldiers with concealed in their weaponry by this president who represents ISIS, grabs a concealed gun, tie all these U.S. military personnel in the South, in Korea, but in South Korea, for the unification process. And like you see in the ISIS video, they shoot him in the head. One by one, they shoot him in the head. Bam, 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 bam. Then all this U.S. Army and Marines and all this personnel get shot in the head by ISIS. Then you see the Japanese hostages, and then the guy will say, you vote what you did for, and you and your wish has been command, and they're gonna repay. You're gonna see them. They're gonna bring out knives with all the Japanese hostages in North Korea, and they're cut off their heads. And after they cut off their heads, like I say, if they don't follow the rules of the unified Korea, or that means that if they don't participate being a member of the ISIS military, or don't agree with it, then better yet, they're gonna get, you'll see a whole hell breaks loose. You're gonna see a slaughter fest all over. A slaughter fest in Seoul, and a slaughter fest in Seoul, a slaughter fest in Busan. ISIS doing everything. And then this is where you have, as you can remember, do you remember the Cold War? Do you remember Ronald Reagan having these anti-nuclear missiles weapons that you could shoot nuclear missiles for stop coming? ISIS will send nuclear missiles. I think we could get ready too. Japan would have do the same thing. Anti-nuclear missiles. They shoot out North Korean missiles, now ISIS missiles, aka North Korean missiles, to stop from attacking Japan. Then, as what it is, you might see people protest that ISIS is part of the Japanese government and stuff. Well, ISIS is just became a government, is a Trojan horse that has hit there because of these protesters protesting against Park. And when they do all the killings and all that stuff, U.S. and Japan soldiers, and then Japanese anti-nuclear missile and shooting out in space, attacking ISIS missiles, what is North Korean missiles. U.S. collide with the Japanese soldiers, Japanese fighting ISIS in Korea. Then after they done with all this mess, similarities to the Battle of Troy, Korea returns to Japanese sovereignty. It means like, if Japan hopefully ends up ISIS, if Japan ends ISIS with the United States joining the fight against ISIS, Korea, when ISIS is over or dismantled, Korea becomes a Puerto Rico. I mean, you know what we're talking about, right? This is repeating the Battle of Troy over again, but this time in Korea, and ISIS is the Trojan horse, and Japan plays the role of Greece. That means, like, Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, is a commonwealth. Then Korea becomes like a Puerto Rico. Will be part of Japan. Korea becomes Japan's Puerto Rico, right? Then they have the president. But it's under the Constitution of Japan. Their main leader is the prime minister, but they have their own president and all that stuff. And the difference, they're gonna use the same currency, the Japanese yen, like Puerto Rico use the U.S. dollar. And that's how it is with this stuff. because that's what you're seeing. There's just a bunch of ISIS members protesting against Park. These people are part of ISIS. They have bring the oil, but the cops have bring oils and stuff and wiping out a bunch of ISIS members. That's it. That's it. That's all what they do. And then I hope for it because I want this. If you worry about Japan, it is our ally. I'm worried about them too. It is better off that somebody from ISIS becomes president of South Korea and unify South Korea, even though American soldiers will be shot off in the head in the process. They conceal their weapons, and in the north, Japanese hostages will get their heads cut off. It's just plain and simple. But anyway, see you later. You know, and then we're talking about dirty sports. You know, this is the video. Cannot do this. I might leaving town pretty soon. But anyway, goodbye everybody. Goodbye folks. And Tony, just remember, the video response, what it is just to, I did this just to be aware. Just to be aware that these people protesting in Seoul against President Park are Muslim. They're ISIS members. There are ISIS members to unify Korea. And then these guys are the Trojan horse, and Japan plays the role of Greece, and Japan is gonna fight ISIS when the Reform Party of Korea, aka ISIS, wins. Bye.